So moving on from Kotzebue, Alaska, and the environmental changes causing so many dangers and different security indicators for this community. One way to adapt is by using technology and engineering. I actually chose Kotzebue, Alaska because of the different technology that's actually being used here in Alaska for open source mapping. And one of the things they actually pointed out was using sensors in place of expensive radar equipment. And by doing so, they actually were able to gauge sea ice thickness automatically. They didn't have to wait 2 or 3 days for the information to get analyzed and put in to, another component in order for it to spit out just how stable the sea ice was. And all of this was happening in Kotzebue in 2018. Another reference in a lot of the literature I read was to look into the engineering of their way of life. So sea ice sellers, or excuse me, ice sellers would need to change and adapt to permafrost melting. The foundations of homes as well as the exterior of it would have to change with engineering, providing more firm and weather resistant homes. And all of this is for the community of Kotzebue not to move away in the event that everything breaks out in 1 year, such as sea ice not coming in, higher level of waves and water and wind, and loss of their ice cellars. So just preparing for all of that to come. And this one is one of the University of Fairbanks club, and it's called Alaska Developer Alliance. And the highlight for this was the project that Luminate and K2 Drones undertook in developing a more data-filled, real-time showing of how thick the sea ice was. And all of this would be a $400 contraption versus a $20,000 equipment. And it is all ran by Raspberry Pi, which is fairly easy to learn, especially in a community where reliance on how sea ice being thick for them to transport or hunt on is pretty much important. And you can also spot the integrity issues, and they used drones overhead in order to get a photo map of what it looked like on that day. This concludes my presentation on Kotzebue and the environmental security changes they're undergoing that can further impact their community to eventually have to move away from their coastal island. Thank you very much.